Okay, guys, so I'm doing the listen, I had a thing set up. I was going to do a thing. I was going to do some stuff with some other things but so listen, Battlbox just got dropped off and the box is all wet on one side. I don't know if there's something in here. I don't know what's going on. We're going to rapidly open the box without me. No drunk, no hyper, no nothing else, no additives. I need to know if there's something in this box leaking. I'm a little concerned about what could be in here. So here we go, guys. Battlbox Mission 95. January 2023. I can't even, it's a little slick over here. Sorry, guys. Yeah, no, this is very rushed. I have not prepared for this at all. So, Steve, the guy who does Battlbox for us. Big thanks to Steve. And I'm sorry that this has to be in this fashion. But we're going to take a look, as we always do. I'm just really concerned that the side of the box is all wet. So, I'm just going to grab stuff out of here. And like I said, maybe the post office just got it wet. It went through UPS. Oh, that's cool. Whatever that is. It went through UPS and then USPS. And I don't know what might be. Okay. All right. Spyderco. That's cool. All right. So we got. Okay. I'm not seeing anything that's wet in the contents. It looks like the box just might have been wetted. Somebody peed on it. I don't know. Maybe they feel a certain way about Battlbox. Maybe they feel a certain way about me. Maybe the box just got in a wet area somewhere. Okay, but you can understand that all of a sudden it just arrived and it's like the box is wet and I didn't want to delay any and I wanted to just make sure, that everything's cool. So I certainly don't want a product in here to get ruined and we look at it. And I obviously, listen, I have my ins and outs with Battlbox, but I also don't want to blame them, for a product being shitty when we get out of the box because it had gotten wet and ruined. You know what I mean? So I just wanted to, I was not prepared. I like to prepare for videos. So, Mission 95, the Aurora Barora. I know that's not what it's really called, but if you know where that reference comes from, you're cool or old or both. So what do we got here? Happy New Year. All right. A little less excited about the Spyderco knife. We'll get to it. So, Spyderco. No. Damn it. See? I need to slow down. So, Battlbox. 4 levels. Basic, Advanced, Pro, Pro Plus. We have the Pro Plus, thanks to Steve, because Steve is cool. Steve is awesome. Steve's my homie G-Funk. That's another thing I won't be doing again. Ever. But so when you get like the 1 level, you get everything that comes. So like the lowest subscription is the basic, and if you get the advanced, you get everything in the advanced, the basic, and so on and so on. So we're gonna look at the Pro Plus, which is everything they have to offer, and we're gonna start with the basic box. Okay, I like this. We're starting off good here, guys. Aquatabs, one of the most critical. So the 5. What's the word? 5 important things of survival. I can't remember. God, I can't think of the word I'm thinking of, and I'm probably not going to put it in text. I'm just going to let you guys rapid fire correct me in the comments. But water, one of the most important 5 things for survival. And I say this all the time. You can go a lot longer without food than you can without water. So Aquatabs are a very reputable, very good water purification tool, and very good for listen, whether it's just plain camping, whether it's a survival related thing, whether it's for your bug out, get home, go bag, whatever you're calling it. Aquatabs is a good thing to have. So we had a very similar thing, active duty wise, military. Well, I guess in the reserves and guard too, right? But the old 1-quart canteen pouches used to actually have a little pocket. I don't have one here to show you, but if I find a picture, you know, you'd have your 1-quart canteen pouch that would carry it on your gear, and then a little pocket on it to carry your water purification tablets, which were similar. They were more like iodine based back in the day, and then they had a better formulation, but just like it to keep it in there. So cool stuff to have. And since this is resealable, I'll open it up. We'll take a look. Now there are many different water purification. Oh no! Oh, okay. I see. There's landmarking to get it open. There we go. Simple tablets. They look kind of like aspirin, and you let it dissolve. You leave a little space in the, you know, for gassing out, but it kills nasty stuff in your water. Each tablet can treat up to 4 gallons of water, 30 minutes. It does not leave any unpleasant taste as it dissolves. That doesn't mean your water is going to taste good, because there could be funky taste in your water. But you know what? It's better to drink bad tasting but purified, you know, clean water than whatever. All right, I've talked way too much about this. So this is good stuff, and I support this. And they did not put values on anything in this. They go back and forth between doing this with the values and not. And honestly, it's because every time they put an MSRP value, people are very quick to find a much less expensive source to find that. So I understand, but still not a classy move to not put the values on there. But anyway, I mean, we can easily find the values just by going online and seeing what it costs and then adding up like what the actual value of the box is. And I know you guys are way good at it, way better at it than me. So item number 1, I like that. That's a great item in any box at all. You know, you always need clean water. Number 2, Woox All-in-one Tactical Gear Cleaner. I am not familiar with what this specifically is, how it works, what it does. So we're gonna have to take a look. So we've got a microfiber cloth. We've got the good old, oh, this is wood. I was gonna say the good old fashioned plastic cleaning toothbrush, but this is actually a wooden one. Army used to issue these things out. The Air Force too, you know, for certain things, like in some, I always have to do this. I always get defensive. Listen, there are dudes on the ground in the Air Force with rifles doing shooty bullet gun stuff. Called battlefield airmen. Yeah, people make fun of the Air Force, and you know what? A lot of the Air Force deserves it. But I liked having a job that was like on the ground, doing stuff, making sure air support got where it needed to be. But at the same time, we had guns and stuff. Anyway, so the OD Green cleaning toothbrush, very familiar with it in all their weapons cleaning kits. That's my point. That's what I'm saying, getting off on a tangent. There's nothing worse than having a piece of gear fail due to improper care. This is an all-in-one solution. They say knives, firearms, leather goods, wooden items, steel items, etc. So what is this? I don't know. They say you can put this on a number of things, which just makes me curious, because I'm just saying, agree with me or disagree, you know, in the comments, let me know how you feel about it. Typically, I would use something different for, say, steel than I would wood, than I would leather. Those are different, vastly different items, products, textures, surfaces, and to have an all-in-one, that just sort of, I'm not saying it's impossible, I'm not. I'm just saying it's not what I have encountered. It's a little weird to me that you would have one product that would clean and kind of do all those things at once. So all it says is basically here, it's a powerful, here, I'll show you the label. Powerful bio-based degreaser and cleaner. Okay, I get that. Dissolves oil, grime, dirt, and dust. Okay, best degreaser for sensitive surfaces. Shake bottle well, spray directly onto surface, wipe clean with towel. Now, Steve always gives me permission, kind of standing permission, to test stuff out and use it. So we will see a follow-up at the shop using this, because I've got a couple things at the shop we can test this out on right now. This is Sunday, the January 8th, when I'm unboxing this right now. I'm going to work tomorrow, Monday. We will actually test this out on a few different things and see how it does. So follow-up coming. So, you know, in concept, I love if I can eliminate a bunch of bottles into one. If it works well. And I like that they give you the bottle, they give you the microfiber cloth, they give you a little scrubby brush, although it doesn't say anything about scrubbing. It says spray and wipe clean with a towel, but still, I appreciate them giving me the tools. Oh, it says warning, be sure to follow up with corrosive protectant after cleaning metal parts. So it is not you know what? I appreciate they say that. Does not protect your stuff. It just cleans it. So cool. You know, do I like it or not? We'll figure it out. Put that right around there. And 3 in the basic box, US Camo Corps chamois. We've got a kitchen chamois, a field chamois, and a Shammy Sponge. Now we see super towels, like the microfiber super towels a lot in these. I can tell you this feels very different right now. It is, and there's a difference between like a microfiber, one of those super absorbent towels, and a chamois. It's a very different material. And I suppose we're gonna have to open this up. It is ACU pattern, but not ACU colors. It's more reminiscent of navy or marine woodland colors, but it's still not. Oh, there's 2 of them in there. It's still not exactly that. It's not exactly that. Those colors. They're just, you know what? I don't want to rip the chamois. Is why I'm stopping and going to the knife. I don't want to tear that. So it's sort of, kind of spongish material, but not quite. I'm trying to think, guys, right now. Number 1, about how I feel about the item in general. Number 2, how I feel about it being in Battlbox. And I got mixed feelings. And I know that there's a percentage of people out there that want to hear this stuff. And I just dealt with a real douchebag of a comment about just shutting up and showing stuff. And I know that if you guys wanted to just shut up and show stuff unboxing, you wouldn't be watching this. But so here's my thoughts. I get it that in the field, cleanliness is important. Because if you look historically, you know, and this is not so much modern day, but if we look at historical going back, World War I, Civil War, you know, I mean, in that historical time period leading up to where we are modern day, even more like Korea, even more modern battlefields than that stuff, you know, the more people died from infections that they got, from environmental injuries that they got, than from the actual combat itself, because you know, that's a killer. And you know, it's not just wounds that get infected, it's staying clean and staying healthy. Because if you are not able to do that in a field situation, whether it's just camping or whether it is literally survival, you know, actually you are out there and you have to sustain yourself, staying clean is a big part of the game. Staying healthy and hygiene is important. It is as important. Maybe not. I mean, I would say it is as important as getting food and water, because an infection from, you know, non-hygienic conditions can kill you. It can kill you, no matter how much purified water or food you manage to find. So I can understand the concept behind this. I don't know if it's not a super excited item. I'm not thrilled with it being in the box, but I can understand the idea of putting it in the box. Now we got 2 of these little sponges. But the thing is, like, I see chamois, and what I instantly think of is washing my fucking car. That's what I think of. I feel like this was, you know, and I'm going to let you guys debate this one out. I'm not going to comment further on it. I feel like this is more of a camping box kind of thing than a battle box thing. And when I say that, some people comment that this should be like all survival stuff. Some people comment this, you know, this should be more tactical stuff. I'm going to let you guys decide how you feel about that. And so the field chamois is basically 2 of the kitchen chamois put together. with a carabiner on it. Also something that I can test out in the shop and see how it holds up, because when we do, say, like a nice clear gloss coat over a large surface, it's always multiple coats with very fine grit sanding in between, and then rinsing, and we always use some chamois and stuff to clean it off. Anyway, so like I said, I'm going to say it one more time, just for anybody who didn't hear me. I want to be very clear. I understand the concept, and I can agree with the concept. I don't know if it's the most exciting item to get in a battle box, although I can also probably see there's a lot of people that are going to be very excited about this and adding it to whatever setup they have. Kind of on the fence about this. That's everything in the base box. We got the 3 items. Okay, moving on. And of course, no values. I don't know. Moving on to the advanced box, we have the Bone-Dri Rust Prevention Handgun Case 2.0. I swear to God, we just got this. We just got this from somebody, and I can't remember. And I'll tell you what, I'm a little do not eat gun cased out, because we keep getting these, and I understand somebody's going to say, well, maybe somebody hasn't gotten them. Yeah, I get it, but so what this is, if you're not familiar, it's a soft gun. And I say gun case, you can put anything metal in this that'll fit. Okay, it doesn't have to be a gun. It has these elastic bands. I used one of these for really expensive knives, and then promptly lost them in moving materials, if you remember the saga of my Hinderers. But it's got some soft padding, and then it's got this divider, and then so it's got some nice padding on the outside too, and it's good nylon. You can connect this to whatever you want, or some Molly type gear. But the thing is, what makes it different is, if you listen, all that, so it's like 100 do not eat pouches of the little silica balls, all in the outsides, so it absorbs the moisture and keeps it away from whatever you put on the inside, so it protects against corrosion and stuff like that. You can't soak it in water, you can't put it in water or spray it with a hose. It will not protect like that, but against ambient moisture in the air, it does that for you. And it doesn't work forever. What we've learned over time is that those do not eats have a finite lifespan and a finite amount of moisture that it can protect from. They get saturated, you know what I mean? But this is like an extra level of protection against that stuff. But we also have seen a ton of stuff. Like I think I now have 5 or 6 of these. Again, I recognize if this is the first box for somebody, they might not have any of these. For somebody that's been subscribing to Battlbox for a while, this is at least the second, if not the third, that we've gotten. And in other boxes too, we've seen these. I'm just curious, can you recharge this somehow? If you put a wet firearm or ammunition in here, it should be dry within 6 hours. That's kind of cool. Okay. After use, recharge by opening the case and placing in sun or dry with a hairdryer on low heat. That's cool. That's cool that you can do that. A very useful item. And you know what? Your firearms, look, I'll tell you, preventative maintenance is the key. So balancing what I said about having 5 or 6 of these already, the last thing you want to do is, you're in whatever situation you're in and you've got to pull out that handgun and you find out it's rusty and shitty. And like I said, it doesn't have to be a gun. Knives, tools, whatever you need to keep good and corrosion free, this works for. There's a few different brands on the market. I think they all work pretty much the same. So it is a good item. It's good to have. I just don't need 6 of them. But these things are, like I said, I'm not knocking these. They're good to have. They're very good to have. I actually gave one to Dave, in fact, because I have a bunch. It's the only thing in the advanced box, though. So when we talk about some of the, going back to that video I made about what's the value, the real truth about subscription boxes, we want to get it. We want to be excited by what's in there. I'm sure some people are, but being a good item, being a useful item, doesn't also mean it's like very exciting and you take it out of the box and you're like, yeah, this is exactly what I wanted to see in a box. It's it's not, but it does have value. It does, gotta say. All right. Now the Pro box has something really cool. We've got a whole mummy bag from Klymit. Klymit makes good quality gear, and I'm gonna have to do a separate video clip to check this out. I'm gonna have Aiden help me with some camera work later. He's out with his mom right now. So we're gonna get back to this, but temperature rating, 20 degrees Fahrenheit, -7 Celsius, that's cool. What size is this? How big is it? We're gonna come back to this. Guess we will just move on now. I'll splice in the sleeping bag clip. It'll be here. All right, I have the help of my assistant.
Hi.
Hi, Aiden. Boom. All right, Aiden, rip it open. So what do we got here? Let's see. We've got some specs. This is a size regular. 74 by 30 inches. That will fit each of us, either of us, nicely. 2.5 pounds. That's pretty good. We already talked about the weight. It's water repellent. It's real comfort. So we're just gonna have to try this thing out. Looks like we've got. Oh, I thought that we could just pop. Oh, okay. So the top cover stays attached to it the whole time. So I guess we don't have to worry about losing that. That's good. So Aiden, you're gonna get in this thing.
Yep.
And you'll let me know if there's any scorpions or snakes in it. Go ahead, pull. All right, here's our stuff sack. Here's the head portion.
Oh, I thought
What'd you think?
that was the head.
No, here's the head portion. Okay, so wait, first let's talk about the bag itself. Why can't I unzip it? Is it caught? No, it's not caught. So go ahead, feel this. What do you think?
That does feel comfortable.
It does feel comfortable. It's light, it's a lightweight bag. So I mean, so it's not very soft and squishy. It's Klymit, and they make a lot of like padding and bedrolls and stuff. So I expect that they expect you to have some kind of padding underneath it. So it's not going to be the squishiest, but go ahead and climb in.
I do think it's going to be comfortable.
Well, I think it's going to be comfortable, but I mean, it's not going to have a lot of padding in it. You have to scoot on down. Scoot on down the road.
Oh, this fits me like perfect.
Yeah, well, you don't like have to bury your head if you don't want to. You could. Comfy now. Klymit also makes like pillows and stuff like that. So, what do you think? How does it feel?
It's pretty comfortable. Like
Could you be? There we go. Now I see you. Could you be warm in there?
Yeah.
Does it feel warm?
Yeah, it actually does.
You have room to like wiggle around if you needed to?
Not that much, but yeah, you could.
Well, I mean, I guess it is for sleeping, not wiggling, but it's about. Well, no, it's a little smaller than the Army, the military issue. Oh, I can't remember the actual designation now, but the 3-layer. Do you remember? We have 2 of them. It's got the black, the OD green, and then the camouflage cover, the Gore-Tex cover sleeping bag. Do you remember that one? That ended up getting peed on by a cat or a dog. I think it was a cat. But anyway, but that one is a totally different concept than this. But it's slightly smaller than that one. Something you'd want to bring camping with us?
Yeah.
You like it?
Call dibs.
You call dibs? Well, let me just get in and give it a shot and see what it feels like. Well, pretty comfortable. Again, yeah, I think you'd probably expect that you'd use a pad under this thing, but me and all of my 68.5 inches fit in it pretty nicely. Hang on. So this is the regular size. I maybe would prefer, I think if it comes in a large, How's this for a shot? Like this? Yeah. I think if maybe I'd prefer the large size, just have a tiny bit more room. What I like to do is, you know, when I'm out camping somewhere or whatever, I like to take clothes, keep them folded up, keep them in the sleeping bag with me, so that when it's time to put on new clothes, I'm not putting on cold clothes because I hate doing that. So I don't know. I might like to have a little bit more room. Like Aiden said, even for him, there's not a lot of wiggle room in here, but you know, you're not in here for a pleasure cruise. You're in here to sleep. It does feel pretty comfortable. Would be a little bit more with some kind of pad at the bottom of it, but it's not bad. Being only 2.5 pounds is a big plus when you're, you know, packing up all your weight for all the stuff that you're bringing somewhere, though. That's pretty nice. Water repellent is nice. Not waterproof, water repellent though. And it is pretty soft on the inside. So yeah, I like it. So I guess now we're gonna move on to the ProPlus, which is a knife of the month. Yeah. Oh, I got some feels about this one. Okay. So this is where I'm gonna be a dick. You guys ready? Okay. We should do a hashtag DocP's a dick. So here's the deal. Yes, it is a Spyderco. Okay, Spyderco's great. Great. The Resilience is among the lowest end models that Spyderco makes. And this is, so of all the Spydercos, this is one of their few made in China Spydercos. Now, it's not a bird. A bird is like the Spyderco's lowest end, okay? But the Resilience is, and this is the Resilience lightweight. They have a full G10 handled one. So the Persistence, the Tenacious, and the Resilience are kind of the made in China 8CR13. It's one of the lowest end blade steels that Spyderco has ever used. And people look at it and they're like, oh, what a big knife. And yeah, it is a large bladed knife. But, however, it is the cheapest Spyder. I mean, it's not the cheapest, but it's one of the cheapest Spydercos you can get your hands on. Now, if we look up the Persistence, which is the smallest of the three, the Tenacious, which fits in the middle, and then the Resilience, we're, you know, people that don't know are thinking they're getting like, and it's interesting that they're, again, no prices. And I'm not accusing anybody of doing any what's the word? You know, just not telling you. But, you know, the difference in materials and quality between, say, this and, I don't know, an Endura are big. In terms of the quality of the steel, you know, an Endura probably comes with a VG10 blade as standard and then goes up from there, as opposed to 8CR13 and stuff. I just, for a ProPlus knife of the month, this is a basic level knife, honestly. Maybe advanced because it's a bigger blade, but and I know prices have gone up. I know, I'm aware of that. When I first got a Resilience, and I got it and yeah, it was 10 years ago when I first got a Resilience, 2012. These things weren't more than $35, $40. You know, and the Tenacious was a $25 knife. I recognize that they're about double that price now, but still, to put a Resilience in the ProPlus, and I get it, it's a Spyderco, yeah, great brand. But so I'm gonna do a little looking right now on Amazon, and I'm gonna show it to you. Now, this is the price if you're just buying a Spyderco Resilience on your own. This is not a wholesale price. This is not a distributor price. This is not a buying in bulk price. This is, and I still say this is too much. I would never pay that price for a Spyderco Resilience because it's not worth that. It's not at all. So you know that if they bought, say, 500 to 1,000 of them to put in every box, they got a much better price than that, okay? Here's the prices right here. Again, single, buyer price for the Endura, lightweight also. Here's with the Emerson Wave automatically cut into it. Oh, that's the Indela. Sorry, that's a different model. That's actually a smaller one. But so you know that buying in bulk, they could have easily, or at a distributor or a dealer price, they could have gotten this probably for the $66 that regular people pay for that. So they could have gotten it at a better dealer type price and then put a $95 price tag on it for the ProPlus box, at least. And again, better knife, better steel, not made in China. I'm just throwing that out there. And yeah, here is the actual Endura with the Emerson Wave. They could have given everybody one of those, which is really cool. You know, automatic pocket opening. They could have gotten a Spyderco Manix 2 lightweight. Now again, individual single person purchasing for $130. You figure 3/4 of that, or even a half for dealer bulk pricing on that. They could have put that in, and they've given us a knife of the month with that value or more before. So again, made in the USA, infinitely better steel, not infinitely, but order of magnitude better steel, better blade stock. Okay, or look, here's even the Endura, or look, here's even the Delica. Okay, again, not made in China, much better steel, smaller knife, much smaller knife, very EDC friendly knife. And they've actually given us this before. They've given us this as a ProPlus knife, in a previous box. It was the one with like water purification and everything, way back when. I mean, years ago. But my point is, yes, it is a Spyderco brand, which is great, but it is the lowest end, and I'm gonna have to check with Darren, like, what is the dealer pricing on this, because this is, it's just, I'm sorry, it's not a pro. In the basic or advanced box, great. It is not a Pro Plus knife of the month. Just because it comes in a Spyderco box doesn't make it Pro Plus knife of the month worthy, and that's my opinion. And you can disagree, but to me, it doesn't. It just, number one, it's not a knife that I bought one before because I didn't know better. I just saw big blade knife. I was deployed. It was 2012, and it was before I really started getting into different blade steels and understanding the difference and stuff like that. And by the way, I'm not right now doing the all put down made in China thing. I'm not, because you guys know I've reviewed plenty of knives that are made in China, and there are plenty of knives that are made in China that have really good quality. I'm just saying that for a Pro Plus Spyderco, they could have done better. They could have done better. That's all I'm saying. And that I know that there are a lot of people, and I read in groups and online, there are a lot of Battlebox subscribers that would much rather get a made in the USA knife if the option is there. That the made in China knife is going to bother them. There's some people that don't care, and I'm not insulting the knife for being made in China. I'm saying that the made in the USA, better steel, and honestly better construction option is there. Let's get past all that and just look at the knife. So lightweight means that it has FRN handles. The original, and it's still available, is, like I said, a G10 on both sides. Either one has skeletonized steel liners, okay, liner lock design. It has phosphor bronze washers. None of them come with bearings or anything like that. So these washers honestly can get tuned up pretty nicely. You take some very high grit, like 3500 grit or micron level fine sandpaper, oil up or dip it in water so you're doing some wet sanding, and you can polish these washers really well, really lightly. And this does get very smooth. You probably, if you don't want to go that far, just take some KPL or other really high quality lubricant for the pivot, and you can get a really smooth opening with this. It does come centered really, really well. Spyderco typically does not Loctite their pivots, so I would recommend that once you get it to the point with the centering and the action you like, you take that, let me back up, you take that pivot out, you put a little Loctite on there, you put it back in and adjust it, and then once you get it to the action and the centering that you like, you just leave it alone for about an hour or so, let that Loctite set in, and then you've got it locked in there. The weight is it is fairly, you know, it's lighter than the G10, fractionally lighter than the G10. The actual lightweight doesn't lighten this up all that much because you're still dealing with the same amount of steel on the blade. You're still dealing with the same steel liners and everything. You're just slightly less weight with the handle itself. Now, I will say that the lightweight handle does give you some good grip because this Spyderco pattern here they do does give you a good grip on the knife in all kinds of conditions, whether it's wet, whether it's, you know, I don't know, you're using it on hunting and stuff like that and it gets bloody. That's a very good grip. Empty, barehanded gloves, whatever. And there are, you can switch this for different colors if you want. They're available aftermarket. Just like with G10, you can get different G10 colors, or, you know, the thing with G10 is you can grind different patterns in it and customize it and stuff like that. Plenty sharp. Decent geometry on the blade there. Bevels are pretty even. You got a full flat grind on the blade. So what I think this knife particularly is really good for, honestly, I used my Resilience in storage in the collection right now. I used it a lot in the kitchen. I used it a lot downrange for different food prep stuff. It is a large flat grind, good for slicing and general cutting purpose blade. So this is, I know a lot of people that have this knife and have used it for like in the field food prep and stuff, but that 8CR13, it's a stainless, and it's I won't say equivalent, but it's on the same level as like a 440C. I would say slightly less stainless than a 440C. Spyderco heat treatment is pretty good, so it'll hold that edge decent. But you can see just from like me touching and everything, you're starting to get some marks on the blade, and you've got to keep this thing clean and take care of it a little more than your standard 440C. I don't have a big problem with 8CR13. It's decent EDC steel. You just got to understand that this is not a hard use, you know, kind of knife, even though it's like a big old blade. The tip will chip off from experience, and you know your edge. If you try to start chopping and stuff, and you try to do all that hard kind of use stuff with this, your edge will chip. But in terms of, it is big for EDC, but for EDC use, this knife will do all that stuff for you. Now, it also says here that subscribers may get one of the two blade options. So there's some folks out there with the semi-serrated edge that, you know, hopefully they're happy with it. I like, you know, I'm over the serrations. I have been for years. So to me, in this lineup, the Persistence, the Tenacious, Resilience, the Tenacious is the perfect size. This is, you know, like I said, unless you're doing chopping in the kitchen, whatever, I don't feel like this, in this shape, in this platform, I don't think you need this much blade. That is the knife of the month. And that is Mission 95. So I know I went on ranting about the knife because that's what I do, and let's face it, that's why you're here. But overall, we have, once again, some useful stuff. I have my opinions on what I like to see in Battlebox. Doesn't mean stuff's not useful. It's what I would expect to come in Battlebox. You know what I mean? That's it. This we'll definitely see in a follow-up video. We'll test it at the shop on a multitude of things. At this point, I will have messed with the sleeping bag and have cut it in, so you'll have heard my opinion on that. But we've talked about everything else here. So now I would love to hear everybody else's opinion on what you think of all this stuff here. And you know what? Tell me if you think I'm dead wrong about the knife. If you think this is a great knife of the month, please, do mention that. Talk about that. Tell me why. Tell me why. And I welcome people to opinion-based stuff. Is discuss everything I said about this knife. Besides the actual factual stuff about it, it's all my opinion on it being in the box, it not being in the box, other knives that maybe would be better fit as a ProPlus. That's all just based on my experience and my opinion. And if you've got an opinion that is contrary to that, absolutely feel free to bring that in. And I cannot tell you you're wrong, but the whole point is to discuss and respectfully share opinions and We don't have to agree, but we should always be open to hear someone else's point of view. So thanks again to Steve, and thanks to all of you for sitting through my rants, as usual. And remember that you guys are all absolutely awesome, and I appreciate every single one of you. I'll be back again real soon.